What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's the Nigerian Nightmare Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C.
A Shadowline production.
Henry Cejudo.
Say nudo.
You say Cejudo. UFC 319 Nueva 319 took place this weekend, and Henry Cejudo, I rarely agree with you, and you say, "Oh, this might be the card of the year, Kamaru." But hey, those fights delivered. That main card definitely delivered. It's I got to be honest. When I'm in an arena nowadays, it's just sometimes these fights kind of run together to where you'll get an exciting fight the first one, then that second one's kind of like a daisical, and then you start kind of doing this Henry after sitting through 8 fights already. But this one was whoa, watching the arena go like this after each one. I mean, I gotta tell you, Henry, it was a incredible night in the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. I mean, Henry, before I even get into it, I don't want to anything else. I'm gonna just let you say main event of the evening. Henry, go ahead and do what you do.
Wow, Kamaru, the Nigerian Diamonds rubbing it in. You're right, Kamaru. You were right. And you know what's ironic? You know what's ironic about that whole fight is, it let people know how good you are. Maybe that one fight with Leon Edwards, getting knocked out, and then that second fight, maybe coming back a little too soon. Maybe that's what a lot of people are lingering in people's mind. Like, how good is Kamaru Usman? I had a friend of mine that I was just in Houston last night. He was like, man, Kamaru Usman he must be feeling like King Kong right now. 10 days notice where you're able to take Khamzat. What Khamzat was able to do to DDP, I mean, now I'm starting to question if DDP had the right training camp. I mean, there was one of the things that I said too, like in my breakdowns, is like, you cannot stay in all fours. You cannot stay in like the tabletop position. For those who don't know, because that's pretty much where Hamza won the fight. Hamza was just able to put his leverage on him, keep him in all fours position where pretty much DDP was carrying his weight. Like, DDP should have just went to his back and then started working from there. But even from there, bro, he was getting crucifixed. He was getting trap controlled. He was doing a little bit of what you did to Joaquin Buckley, how you're right across from him and you're really just pinpointing that and then looking for those damn underhooks. I mean, I was not expecting this. I was expecting a little bit more from Dricus du Plessis, but Dricus did not make those adjustments. He, talk about bringing the wrestling. The same reason why wrestling is the greatest and toughest sport on damn earth. He brought that wrestler grind to him, and just DDP did not have an answer. Did you see my tweet, man? In here, let me read this to you, Kamaruddin. This must be the most dominant championship performance by any UFC fighter in UFC championship history. But I will say this, Kamaruddin. People are starting to forget how good the Nigerian Nightmare is. Sometimes I wonder, if you did go 5 rounds, how would that go for Hamzat? Whether you're picking up that fight in the third. I tell you what, man, I judged Hamzat on your fight. I judged Hamzat with Gilbert Burns. But man, DDP had no answer. DDP, he stayed on all four position. He got out wrestled. He got out controlled. I mean, there are some rounds where you can go 10-7s. I mean, you're talking about the most dominant championship fight in UFC history, man. I talk about just getting dominant. Maybe we didn't see a knockout. Maybe we didn't see a submission. But man, we saw punishment. We saw somebody just go through the ringer. A champion that people were thinking, hey man, this kid could potentially go up and even become light heavyweight champion of the world. I mean, the way he was disposing of Israel Adesanya, Robert Whitaker. I mean, Sean Strickland a couple times. I mean, that says a lot of what Hamzat has done, and how is it that he's been able to really get close. If you really notice, Hamza's really able to he gets close to people, and then he has a really good penetration shot. But what makes Khamzat Chimaev special it's not only his entries, but his conditioning, man. He's a discipline, and I think that's where the Muslim faith, plays a big role, man. Because these guys, they eat, sleep, train, just fighting. He's going out to the woods in Russia, where some of the best guys go out there and just train, just isolate himself. And I just feel like DDP had no answer, man. From getting taken down, top riding folk style wrestling, to eventually just getting crucifixed. I mean, he punished them all 5 rounds, man. Like this is a hard pill for DDP to swallow. But I'm gonna tell you right now, Kamaru, I was wrong, dude. I was wrong. Instead of me saying, "Am I wrong?" I was wrong.
No, it's I am
Khamzat
wrong.
Chimaev, man, is the Hamza Chimaev is the real deal, and we got to give him his flowers. And it's we got to give him his flowers. But go take it from here, Kush.
Bruh.
Hamza, I'm sorry.
See, I was on the bus. You were trying to drive there with that whole long-winded situation until you said, "Oh, you know what makes Hamza special too? It was his conditioning." What? You're giving him credit for conditioning now? Because I could have sworn before that you said, "Man, this guy has no conditioning," and so I think if this fight gets out of that first round, Dricus
No, I
Duplessis
ain't
is
say
gonna take.
no conditioning.
You said Dricus Duplessis is gonna take over
Yeah,
because he's gonna fade. He's gonna do this. He's gonna listen. Everyone was saying that about him. First and foremost, let's address it with the whole, "Oh yeah, you took the fight on this day's notice and it looked." Listen, at the end of the day, I know who I am as a fighter and the way that I approach this game, and so does Khamzat Chimaev. At the end of the day, it was still a loss on my side, and it was a win on the win column of Khamzat Chimaev. So I don't, "Oh yeah, you should feel this way." No, it was an L. I don't feel any sort of type of way. It's an L, and there's a mutual respect there with how I respect him for coming at it. Because each and every fight that we go into as fighters, you don't know what we're dealing with. You don't know what he was dealing with. You don't know what I was dealing with, going into the fight. And it looked the way it did. And also, like I said, styles make fights. I'm a much different style than these guys are. And I say it all the time. You don't know until you get in there. Khamzat did the best that he could to get the win, and he got that win. So let's give him that credit and let's move on. The way he made the fight look last night was a way that I knew it could look. Way I knew it could look. I kept saying this, but everyone was drunk on that, Duplessis-ness, because everyone likes to say, "Oh, he's the best shit fighter." Everyone was drunk on that. Listen, at the end of the day, Dricus Duplessis is very, very tough. Very tough fighter. If you stand there, you're willing to slug with him, and you're letting this guy kick you and him go ahead and implement his game plan. Dricus Duplessis is very dangerous and very, very tough. But Khamzat Chimaev possessed this one skill that can make you look like a middle school wrestler. And that's all that was. And even watching that, Khamzat made a lot of mistakes that I think would have got him that finish before that third round. He got to a position where it was just kind of so easy. It was almost him controlling himself. He had to control his own emotions. He had to control his gas tank, because that's not easy to dominate a guy like that. And everything is working because in your mind, you're wanting resistance. Resistance is how you gauge how much output I need to put out, But if everything is going right, you can't gauge how much output to put out. You're just like, maybe you might try to finish in that first round, then you get up second round, you're like, "Whoa, I can't even lift my arms. Why am I so tired?" So Khamzat did a phenomenal job because he had so much success with this. But the one area that I thought he could have really had a lot of success is when he was on the back and Dricus was on all fours. Khamzat kind of coasted back there in the back, kind of landed some knees to the thigh. A couple of times I felt, one, he could have sucked him back, or you could have put that weight on Dricus Duplessis' arms, driving that head down, kept driving and driving. I guarantee you do that for a round, Dricus Duplessis either wants to go to his back or he gives up these positions a lot easier that allows you to have that choke. So, I mean, it was a clinic. And once it started, I was just like, man, I said this. We haven't seen Dricus Duplessis fight a wrestler since Derek Brunson. And we saw how that fight was looking early on. Khamzat Chimaev is a very confident wrestler. And even in the striking, he was doing well in the striking. I didn't love his entries, but man, when you are just this strong and when you shoot and when you lock hands, it's a wrap. I mean, you have to applaud the man, So everyone that was picking against him put so much pressure on this young man because he was fighting for a lot more than just, going out there and getting that title. I mean, this is a man that's representing a whole nation, not just Russia, but the whole nation of Chechnya. And he went out there and he was able to get the job done. So hats off to this guy. I know they're celebrating over there in Chechnya and over there in Russia. They got another one. So, man, what a performance.
No, for sure. But can I tell you something though too, Kamaru? It was also a little bit of what DDP did not do. Like, why did he stay? Why did he stay in that all four?
Because let me
Us as
answer that.
wrestlers, when you stay in all fours position, you're gonna get drained.
Yeah,
You're
let
gonna
me
get
answer that. He
tired.
was on all fours because you can't break this lock. You can't break it. I'm around your waist. There was at one point where I knew if I got around your waist, you ain't going nowhere. And Henry, you said something earlier. This is the most dominant. This looks a lot like someone else's title fight win. Let's say welterweight. Let's say sometime a few years back. Maybe 5 or 6. It looks a lot like that. Complete domination with the ground, taking the opponent down, and just a humongous differential with strike landed. So, I mean, what a brilliant performance. Once he realized he could get this fight down to the ground, and when he locked his hands, as you were seeing, when he was locking his hands, there's Dricus had no answer for it. And the one thing that I will say about it, and even in the lead up, is I felt that I don't want to say Dricus was too overconfident. I felt that even the team, with the way that they were talking, with the way that they were kind of the lack of respect for Khamzat, like, oh, yeah, you can't come beat us with just one skill. You think you're just going to beat us with one skill? That's a pretty damn important skill. It's a big one to overlook.
It is.
And
it's the best one. It's the
and
best one.
I think they kind of overlooked. They didn't take it that serious. They felt, okay, if we survive one, we're good. But you got to survive 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you just couldn't do it. I mean, he was crucified, I think 3 out of the 5 rounds. Crucified and had no answer for it. Like it was almost like, I don't know how to get out of here. It really was a big differential in styles and the way that they dominated the fight. So I think we all have to take our hats off to Khamzat Chimaev because, like I said, dealing with all the pressure that he had to deal with to come into that fight and still be able to go in there, stay composed, and get that done, man, it's phenomenal.
Okay, so that being said, Kamar, I mean, right now the landscape at 185
It's
pounds is
beautiful.
tricky, man, because now he's talking about fighting in October. So he wants to turn back and fight in October in Abu Dhabi, and it seems like Dana White is going to give him that fight. Right now we have Boralho versus Imavov in September. I think if these guys are gonna fight, yeah, they're definitely not fighting the next month in October. So that being said, it gives us 2 options. It gives us the fluff dog or RDR. Stylistically, Kamaruddin, who gives Khamzat Chimaev right now at 185 pounds a run for his
That's
money?
tough to say, man. I don't even want to I don't even want to engage with that statement right now because it's there's talent right now at that middleweight division. Fluffy Hernandez, I love what he's doing so far. He's really starting to. You can see it when you start to, that's what I like about him. When you start to taste success a little bit, you really start to dig. You really start to bite down and want more and more, and that's what we're seeing from Hernandez. He's getting better and better and better each and every time he gets in there, and so that he's going far, definitely. But if you're looking at the landscape of that division, you've got Caio Borralho and Nasruddin Imavov that are going to fight. And they will be, winner of that fight will be the next contender. But if Khamzat Chimaev wants to fight quickly in October, then the only other guy out there right now that's ready to step in that has proven that is RDR, Renner de Renner. And RDR just taking out former champion in Robert Whitaker, who's still really good in that division, still at the top of that division. It goes to show you that he's ready, and let's not forget, 2 division champion in a different organization, and coming over here and coming over here and dealing with everyone. I think if Khamzat wants to fight that soon, then you put RDR in there. But if not, then RDR waits. RDR has to fight Dukas du Plessis. I think 100% that's the fight. And then Kaya Borralho, winner, and Nasruddin Imavov, winner of that fight, will fight Khamzat Chimaev next. But this is the thing too, Khamzat, you ain't no prelim fighter no more. You can't just say, "Oh, I fought last week. Yeah, I'm gonna fight next week." Nah, don't work like that now. You're the star you said you were. So guess what? The company's gonna want to build events for you. So you can't just, "Oh, I want to fight next week, Dana. Put me in." No, you gotta wait. Now you understand it's a business. You're a businessman now. Now it's time to get that money.
Yeah, but you know what? Honestly, Chris, I disagree. I think Dana White likes that idea, and I think the relationship with the Abu Dhabi relationship that they do have is going to change a little bit. There's so many storylines for Khamzat Chimaev. I mean, let's talk about Khamzat Chimaev. Khamzat Chimaev's talking about going back down to welterweight. He's gonna throw another wrench on you guys. I mean, he's talking about he wants pound-for-pound status. I mean, the fight between him and Islam Makhachev could be a freaking blockbuster. 2 Russians, 2 guys from neighboring, the Chechnya Dagestanis.
Hold
Yeah,
on,
they
hold
in
on, hold
wrestling, dude.
on,
Those dudes
hold
scrap, dude.
on.
It's a competitive spirit when you have 2 guys from 2 different from 2 different villages. Let's sort of say, and have them potentially fight. I mean, he wants pound for pound status,
Yeah.
Kamaru. He says the fastest way for me to become pound for pound is to fight Islam Makhachev. And man, dude, that throws a
Hold
wrench
on,
in
bruh.
at 170
Oh,
pounds, cause the truth
hold on,
hurts.
nah. Don't even start that hypothetical rhetoric, this and that. Islam Makhachev is not the champion at welterweight. Bruh, let's not just skip all the way left yet. You've got JDM, who is the champion at welterweight. So let's stop talking about these hypotheticals like, "Oh, that's what's next." No, JDM is still the champion at welterweight. Until he loses that, he's the champion. And if JDM happens to lose that title to Islam Makhachev, hold on. Kamaru Usman is still in that division. Hold on, bruh. Don't just slide me out like that. We still here, bruh.
Okay.
And so, listen, Khamzat Chimaev, I'm sure there is a world where he could get that dedication again and that discipline to say, "I am willing to shrink my body to get down to 170. But I just don't see it. Why? I'm the champion at middleweight. I think, if anything, I want to go to the weight class where there's not a lot of wrestlers and it's not a cut for me, where I can stay fast, I can stay strong, and try to snatch that title first before trying to shrink my body, because that's a complete lifestyle change." So let's not even talk about that, Henry. Khamzat Chimaev is the middleweight champion of the world. Like I said, he's on a rocket ship. Well, he's been on the rocket ship, and he's solidified that. He's champion. No matter what, for the rest of his life, this young man is going to say, "I was an undefeated UFC middleweight champion of the world." Told you so, Henry.
It's crazy, Kamaru. It's yeah, you got me, and I will admit it. And I told you why. Your fight, Gilbert Burns' fight. You know what I'm saying? And me thinking DDP's gonna go out there and get up. He just couldn't get up. I don't think he had the right training partners for this count, dude.
No,
I really
stop
don't, man. I
that.
think
Stop that.
no,
Stop that. You
no, man.
try
It is
are
it
you
is it
try
is
are
what
you
it is,
try
bro.
are you
No,
trying
he beat him.
okay,
He
so you
he,
try
he beat his ass. Is that what you want me to
are
say,
you trying
Kamaru?
to tell me
He beat his
you're trying to tell
ass.
me different training partners would have changed what we saw in there?
he would have been a little more. Of
Look at
course,
the
man. Training partners
positions that
plays a
we
big
saw.
deal.
You were
You
crucified
have
3 out of the
to,
5 rounds.
you have to get top collegiate Division One wrestlers to really understand it. Guess what, man? You know who Khamzat Chimaev had in his training camp? He had freaking Pat Downing, world team member, All American. The dude knows wrestling inside and out
Wait,
and
so you think
understands
that's what taught
MMA.
him? You think that's what taught him how to do
Who?
that?
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is the dude just Hamza just overwhelmed him with that particular style. Like
It's a
these
life.
coaches, as you said, Kamaru, as you said earlier, Kamaru, the coaches were like, "Well, we're gonna out wrestle." Like maybe they didn't respect his game as much as everybody else did. You know, like and then listen, Kyle Borrallo even said, "Hey guys, I've trained with Hamzat. I feel like I'm the one that could potentially beat him, but I also know that he is really, really good in these areas." What I'm just saying is, did he really give himself that chance? If he just had a bunch of South Africans wrestling him, then no.
What you
You
mean
have
by
to
that?
invest in that camp. Bring 2 to 3 division. No, you need that top wrestler. We came from that school,
What you
Kamaruddin.
mean by that?
You came from folk star wrestling. If you're able to get out from bottom, dude, you're gonna need specialists in that area. Not every coach knows everything. And that's all I have to say, man. But other than that, man, congratulations to Khamzat Chimaev, dude. I put my foot in my mouth. Congratulations to him. For what's next for me? What would I like for him? And what do I think the UFC is possibly thinking to do? Dude, I would love to see him fight Fluffy, Hernandez, or RDR. I know there's two things, Kamaru. And remember, the UFC is an entertainment company and it's about business. They're trying to capitalize on two markets, China and Mexico. With Fluffy being Mexican American, bro, like, bro, that's a way in for him as well. But that's if he does fight in October, it's either going to be RDR or Fluffy Hernandez. But congratulations to Khamzat. Khamzat, I was wrong.
Nah,
I was
you
wrong.
I agree with you about the obviously the folk start getting off bottom, having experienced that over and over and over. I agree with you on that aspect. But Henry, as you and I both know, that takes years to develop, not just a 3 month, 4 month training camp. You can't develop that. Like the positions that you were put in, being crucified, not knowing how to swivel out, get your like you can't. Being on
But
all
it's a
fours,
start. It's a start.
I
Come
do
on.
agree. I agree. It
It's a
is a
start.
start, but not with with the level that Khamzat is on with that wrestling. That I don't think would have made that big of a difference. That's something that you
Okay.
had
All
to
right. So
change
real
for
quick, man,
years.
and we can move on. We can move on
Right.
real quick. Hamza did not develop top control in Chechnya. Somebody taught him over here. Same thing with Khabib. They learned it from
Whoa.
America. They learned top
Whoa.
control.
Whoa.
Yes,
Flag on a
yes.
play.
They learned top control.
What? Uh,
They learned top control from American style wrestling and to be able to add it to mixed martial arts, bro. Heavy on the hips, top right. I mean, who's doing that in jiu-jitsu? Who's doing that in sambo? Like this is all folk style wrestling, but we could agree to
Definitely
disagree.
disagree
But let's just
because
move
this
on to
man
the
does.
co-main event because we're gonna be here all day,
We
Kamaru,
will
because
because you
you know
saying a
you just
lot of
at the triple, so you
nonsense. You feel me? But I'm gonna let you slide on that just for the sake of the show, because I can be here all day shooting down your nonsense. But for the sake of the show, we gotta slide, man.
let's take a short break to thank our partners at Factor.
We all got things to do, Henry. But when life gets busy, the last thing I want to do is spend time preparing meals.
But that's where the friends at Factor come in. Factor has chef crafted, dietitian approved meals that are ready in 2 minutes. You can eat clean without the damn hassle.
That's 100% right, Henry. I mean, listen, guys, the meal arrives fresh. You get over 45 weekly menu options. You get breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, and even dessert.
And they have diet plans too, Kamaru. Keto, vegan, protein plus. Apparently, I need to check out the calorie smart option since all these haters commenting about how heavy I damn look.
This summer, Factor has you covered. All the flavor and none of the fuss. To sign up, go to factormeals.com/P4P50 off and use code P4P50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
That's code P4P50OFF at factormeals.com for 50% off plus free shipping on your first box.
Now, Henry, let's get back to the episode. Looking at that co-main event of the evening, I also said this is why this was a dangerous fight. It's a very, very dangerous fight because a guy like Lerone Murphy is just he's just so good with his footwork, so dynamic, good at kind of setting you up. And Aaron Pico came out and was looking great, man. He was looking great. He put a lot of pressure on him. But there's just still a little bit. And I think he needs to spend a little bit of time in hiding what I'm doing and that flow, that mixture, that flow. And there was a time when I had no choice. I had to develop that to deal with the killers that I was dealing with in my room. If I'm dealing with guys like Anthony Rumble Johnson, Michael the Menace Johnson, Rashad Evans, Thiago Silva, Eddie Alvarez, all of Jay-Z, Cavalcante, George, there's all these guys that
Vitor Belfort.
Yeah, there's all these guys that would kick the crap out of me if I didn't show them or at least make them respect the one thing that I had, which was the wrestling. So my up and down and my flow had to be there. And that's what I feel like. Aaron started out good. You see this as he kind of pressured, he would chase. But there's that little moment right there, Henry, when he changed level and then let me go in. It's just that little moment to where I feel like that little pause guys can see and start throwing knees, throwing elbows, maybe throwing uppercuts to try to catch you in those moments. And I just think that's a little bit of what Aaron Pico it was just the little things that he needed to work on that I just didn't see in the fight. But, I mean, he came out great. He was looking great, a lot of pressure, and it looked like he was kind of starting to put it on Lerone Murphy. But Lerone Murphy, man, methodical. He was able to set it up perfectly, man. And when he landed that strike, almost see that knee right there? You see that moment? That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
There's that little moment. Yeah. That little moment you give them
but
for a short guy to see.
Allow me to break this down for you. You know what it is, Kamaru?
What's up?
It's Aaron Pico stubborn, bro. Like Aaron's Pico stubborn.
Wow.
Like, and the way he wrestled is kind of like the way he fights. The way he wrestles, the way he fights, man, he just comes at you. He's gonna get his, and no matter what you throw at him, he's just gonna, get his, and that's all that matters. But in the sport of mixed martial arts, it changes, bro. Like he's too much into that fight zone. This is the things that we've talked about, dude. Like, dude, you have to fake. You cannot be in that fight zone, that pocket too much because of elbows, because of X, Y, and Z, man. And this is, Pico's been knocked out pretty hard, man. This is probably like his third serious knockout that he took. That is just not good for his brain, dude. But I will say this about Aaron Pico. I do believe, bro. I do believe that Aaron Pico could still become the best in the world. He just has to stop being so stubborn and take his time with this fight and really set things up. I want to spend more time with him because, he's a good kid, man. Like, Kamara, we had him on our podcast, too. Like, we became good friends because of that damn podcast. Because he was like, hey, man, guys, you guys tell me, dude. I'm here to learn. Like, tell me. I think one of the biggest thing with Aaron Pico's making a mistake is he's too eager, man. And having too eager, you're just gonna get burned this game. There's too many tools, bro. There's too many tools, elbows, knees, front kicks, uppercuts, things that you don't see. I mean, that was a hell of a fucking elbow from Lerone Murphy. I mean, the dude really set it up. He went for broke, dude. It's almost like, dude, all right, man, he's coming at me, fuck it. I'm just gonna throw it. And then that's the sport of mixed martial arts. It only takes that 4 pounds of pressure to knock somebody the hell out. And we heard that response from Alexander Volkanovski.
Well, where does Pico go from here then?
Where does Pico? I mean, Pico right now, I think he just needs to. He needs to take his time. He needs to take his time, and he needs to come back. He needs to fucking allow his brain to just heal, and then come back and really talk about a lifestyle change. Because you said that. You said something that I'm considering doing. Just a lifestyle change that we're just gonna have to be able to really hone in on it and understand that For Khamzat or myself, it would be the weight. If we decide to go down, for a guy like Aaron Pico, it's gonna have to come down to patience. If he's not patient, bro, like as good as Aaron Pico is, he's almost sacrificing that beautiful talent that he has of boxing and wrestling. Like he's got to use those fakes. He's got to use those setups. He's got to work on those entries because that's it's crazy.
Hey,
But Alexander Volkanovski ended up calling out Lerone Murphy. He said, "Hey man, see you in December."
I love that. I mean, obviously, Alex is a guy that loves to continue stay active and loves to fight. So I think that's going to be a banging one. If anything, Lerone Murphy just put himself 100% the standout
He's
to fight for
next.
that title next. But Henry, I was smiling while you were talking because, man, I wish we and I producers, we got to do this, okay? We have to do a before and after with Henry Cejudo. We absolutely have to do this. Henry, listen.
The fuck, dude. This week I fucked
This is why
up.
we
Come on,
love you.
trust me. You're gonna
This
give it to
is
me.
this is why we love you. As people can say what they want, but this is why people love you, is that you're willing to blurt it out. Whatever is up there, you blurt it out. And then we'll just deal with it later. We'll deal with the consequence, the ramifications later. You're the most flip-flopping dude if we should need to play this. Aaron Pico is so dynamic, man. His boxing is incredible. Aaron Pico puts that pressure on him, goes to the body. I think Aaron Pico knocks him out in the first round. Whoop, flip. Man, he's just too stubborn,
and if
bro.
he did, Kamara?
That would have been amazing. And he looked like he was, on the verge of that. But then flip the script, whoop, after. Man, he's just too damn stubborn, Kamaru. I mean, we got to, come on, Henry.
No, but Kamara, I'm not wrong, bro. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong on that. I stand by that. And you're right. But the only way that I could judge the fight now, Kamara, is whatever the fuck happened. Like, we're all making predictions. Just because you got
Absolutely, you're right.
Khamzat right, you didn't get this one right. But you also do got to pick a side. And if Aaron Pico, if he can learn patience, if he can, trust me, bro, he wanted to come out to Arizona because this is the biggest thing that we talked about. As bro, be in that front, like don't be so much in that fight zone. Like, it's what I call borders, man. You want to stay with the right hand can't touch you, but your toes and your kick can touch. Like, you want to be at that right distance. But hopefully he learns from Kush. Like, he's too good, bro. I still have faith. I still believe that Aaron Pico, if he's able to learn that patient game, dude, I do believe that he could still be the best in. I truly do, man. And I'm just not glazing. I'm not gaslighting. I mean that.
Yeah, I think I do agree with you in a sense that I do. Listen, the future, Aaron Pico's still young. He could still get there. Absolutely. Like we say all the time, you're only as good as your last performance. So yeah, all he has to do is come back and he puts on that phenomenal performance, and then it's like, okay, he's on that short list again. So not too much away from him. Aaron Pico is extremely talented. He showed it in that first round. I think he did hurt Murphy a couple times. He was bombing on him. So he shows that he belongs in there. And one thing about him that I like him in there, when he was in there, he's in that black shorts and moving around. He looks like he belongs there. There's some people that just kind of come in and you're like, I don't know if he fits there or not. But Aaron Pico, I think he definitely does belong. He did prove that for the short time he was in there. He's got tools.
Kush, he got caught, bro. Mistakes, bro. Rushing in. He got caught.
That's what I'm saying is, with blending, hiding what I'm going to do, hiding that. There's that little, that slight pause, that second before I go in for what I'm actually committing to, that I still see a pause in his game. And then that pause, especially dealing with featherweights down, those guys are so fast to where they can see that pause and capitalize on it. Look at a guy like Corey Sandhagen. Oh, Corey Sandhagen can see those knees. That knee that Lerone Murphy threw, Corey Sandhagen's a bit faster. I know it's a weight down, but Sandhagen's a bit faster, and he can see that space, see that time to where he can put something there. So I just think it's him figuring out how to just blend that a little bit more. But he's got time. Aaron Pico is listen, my man, Aaron. This is directly to you. I know it sucks because this is the biggest, this is the grandest stage that you're going to be on. So any and everything that you do is watched and is criticized by so many. But my man, listen, you get in there, you get back to work, and it's going to come one day. It may not be tomorrow. Like, look at a guy like and I use him because he's an inspiration, Brendan Marino. You know, that speech is like it's a viral speech ever, that forever. You know, I lost. I may not be champion today, but I'm going to keep working and I'm going to come back, and one day I will be champion. And what did Brandon Marino do? Proved everybody right. So listen, it is what it is. You might have not been successful in this bout, but I think definitely you still have that room to grow, and you have that room to go out there and eventually become that champion. So Henry, yeah, you were wrong. So let's move on to the next. I mean, Carlos Prates. Thank you. This is a phenomenal fight, Henry, huh? But wait, did you go with Prates on this one, or you went with Jeff Neal?
Come on,
Huh?
Kush. Now you're just trolling me, Kush. Now you're just trolling me all of a sudden. Well, we're gonna see the
No,
price
I was
picks.
asking.
We're gonna see the price picture in a little bit. Let's see who got what right. Come on,
Okay,
Redeem.
but I mean, Prates, I told you, man, this young man is he's eager, he's anxious, he loves the game, he loves to fight, he loves to, and I think it's for a guy like this, I think it's great that he's on a team like the Fighting Nerds. Because when you have a team like the Fighting Nerds, so where it's not just one guy excelling, it's this guy, it's that guy, it's this guy, and it's almost like a race to the top. So we're all competing for who's gonna look the best, to put on the most dynamic performance each and every time. Hoofy is incredibly dynamic, just a highlight to watch. Jean Silva, same, out there doing the same thing. Then you have Caio Borralho doing the same thing. Man, I think all these guys doing what they do, it's really pushing a guy like Carlos Prates to do what he is doing. And man, on his birthday, man, goes out there and puts on just a phenomenal performance. And this is why I say phenomenal. Just breaking it down is, I would say a minute into that fight, Carlos Prates took his time, moving, seeing stuff, moving. He let himself get into the fight. Then it was like, boom, I caught my rhythm. Bum, bum. Get back to the center. Bum, bum, bum. He's throwing, I'm ducking, I'm making him slip, I'm slipping, I'm moving. It was like, that's how you fight. You don't just get out there and start just slugging like me and Covington did in that first fight. You let the fight build. And this is what he did, and it was just an excellent performance, man. And so, man, Carlos Prates, I told you, man, I'm very excited about this guy, man. And he definitely is proving us right.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like I said before, Kamaru, like, this guy comes from the striking school. If anybody decides to just purely strike with Carlos, like, you're in trouble, bro. I'd be curious to see a fight between him and Morales, man, because Morales does bring some heat. But to get back to that damn fight with Jeff Neal, it's like, yeah, talk about just the beautiful art of just timing. A little bit of what Aaron Pico does wrong is like Jeff Neal's doing the same thing. He doesn't have what you're saying, those pauses to think, those fakes to get reactions and things like that in order for him to go. Like, he's just going. And there's a problem where you're just going, and then you eventually get caught. You know what I'm saying? It's like, at least, like, Marab is somewhat like that, but Marab level changes, and that's what changes. That's what changes Marab with everybody else, bro. Is that he's doing this, and when he breaks up that motion, that movement, it changes everything. But Carlos Prates has a bright future, man. I know there was talks of him and MVP. I know MVP said that he would fight him in Rio de Janeiro in October, and I'm not sure if the UFC would give him that fight, but if they did. I mean, that'd be a sick ass fight if you ask me, bro. Because the thing is with MVP, he's super hard to catch, man, because of his this. But if you do take him down, that's where to beat him. But what's next for a guy like Carlos Prates? Yeah, I mean, if the UFC, if they want to build a good storyline, I don't think they'll give him MVP because I still feel like they want to build Carlos. They want to give him a fight that is a lot more favorable for him. But I think Buckley. I think Joaquin Buckley could be the fight. I think Buckley's dynamic striking that he has with Carlos Prates. I think that's a fight that could take Carlos Prates closer to that title. And also for Buckley, if Buckley does win that fight, maybe there could be something there for Buckley to get back on that horse and start tapping into people in the top five.
Yeah, I just you're right in some sense. I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that the fight is MVP. I just listen. MVP is so dynamic. He's so good at what he does to where it's like it's an ugly fight for anyone trying to engage with him. You cannot, and it's just ugly. He's gonna clown you. He don't care if he makes it runs around, moves around, makes it look boring for a while. He's gonna catch you with something eventually and then clown you. So it's just a horrible looking fight. I said it when you said, "Oh man, it's gonna be a striking delight." Ian Gary and MVP, and I told you, yeah, it might not look the way you think. Same here. It might not look the way you think. So I think you hit you're right about a fight like Joaquin Buckley and Carlos Prates is a blockbuster. I think that's actually a fight night main event because both guys are so dynamic. Both guys come to thump each and every time. Joaquin Buckley is going to try to take your head off for opening minute to the last minute. And so I think that's a banging one. But I like it. You got Prates, you got Morales, and then you've got Joaquin Buckley. I think those three guys, any order you want to put them in, it's a blockbuster and it's a fight night main event. But did you also see MVP fight Jared Cannonier? Did you see that fight, Henry?
Will you see me, Kamaru?
Yes, I see you. I see you.
I did. I did.
I see you in that stupid hand.
Everything that you said about MVP, you're 100% right. He will clown you. And if you're not a fighter with thick skin or with logic, bro, like you can fall into his little game, his little trap. That actually really helps him. It's not that he's being a dick. He's just a fucking winner. And when you're a winner like MVP, you'll do whatever it takes to do that. It's the same thing with even with my antics. Like there's a purpose behind everything, and you want to win. But yeah, man, and talk about just the distance recognition and the motion, the lateral movements, the creating, just getting Jerry Cannonier to fall, then bam, bam, he would catch him with that 1-2. I mean, what can I
Mm-hmm.
say, man? MVP is dangerous on his feet, but when it comes to the bottom, Kamaru Dean, your boy is suspect, bro. Your boy is suspect. It's unfortunate that Jerry Cannonier ended up taking him down off the, you know. The thing is with these strikers, I think these strikers may just have to start doing this. Pereira did it against Ankulaev, is where they stay close
Alex
against the
Pereira.
cage and they'll just defend you. Alex Pereira, well, they'll just defend you off the cage. So it's almost like they can fight near that, that black line in between the cage, and then they'll defend you from there. But when Jared Cannonier took him down off the open, man, MVP had nothing. MVP had nothing. So if I'm a fighter, I'm looking to fight a guy that's very tricky like MVP. I gotta take him down. One, if I do get him against the cage, I gotta pull his ass off completely, bring him to the center, and then look for my takedowns. Because if you don't do this, these guys, while they use the cage, it's a lot easier for them to actually defend. If you're able to bring these dudes down through the middle, like that's one thing I'm gonna start adding to my training is I'm gonna start drilling, just getting people off the cage and just pulling them, just condition wise, just getting them to just getting them off the cage and then starting wrestling closer to the center because it's harder, man. When somebody's able to use the cage, it helps him. Alex Pereira, it helps him against Uncle Lab. The same reason why Uncle Lab could not take him down. But if he's able to pull him off, take him towards the middle, then that fight becomes more favorable. Because if you just keep it on your feet, like a guy like with MVP, dude, he's gonna pick people apart. And this is where I give Ian Gary, your boy. That's right, Ian Gary. I gotta give him credit, and I never said it was gonna be a striking delight war. No, I say he's gonna kick his leg, and he's gonna wrestle. So exactly what I said is actually exactly what damn happened. You know what I mean? Ian Gary, and I told you before, he is a gamer. So we also gotta give Ian Gary a little bit of his flowers, whether we want to or not. Kush, the dude's a gamer, and he was able to do that. But that being said, getting back to MVP, I mean, what's next for him? I'd like to see him in fun fights, man. I like if that's what he wants. If he wants to stay at 185, he looked pretty good. He looked a lot bigger than Jared Cannonier, honestly, at 185 pounds. But at this point, I think he could start. I think the UFC is going to want to give him some fun fights, maybe because of the whole trash talking like they did with him and Kevin Holland and people like that for his debut. But I think the sky's the limit for that dude.
Yeah, I want to easily just kind of go move on, but here there's ramifications when you say stuff pre-fights, especially when we do our breakdowns. So for those of you who have been watching our breakdowns, we appreciate it. We pray that you continue to watch, because this is where you kind of get to see how us fighters actually get to dissect and actually view these upcoming fights, because I like to watch them stylistically, break them down stylistically, but I also, there's something inside of their hearts that I like to do as well. And so sometimes it seems like only one of us really is doing these things. You know what I mean?
You got me this card, Kamaru.
Nah,
you got me this card.
I'm not rubbing it in. I'm not rubbing it in.
I'm only bending one,
I'm not rubbing it in. I'm not rubbing it. I'm just saying. Remember, I told you leading up to this, and I said, man, this is just very difficult style matchup. And it's not that. And you said, oh, you counting out Jared Cannonier. And I said, listen, I'm not counting him out. I know that from his style, and what I'm a fan of his for years, for watching the way that he fights. That head movement when you're approaching a guy like MVP has to be on point. And it really kind of wasn't. That's why MVP was able to jab, move, jab the whole time, jabbing and jabbing, And then, like you said, Henry, you have to be able to get him down in the center of that cage. And yes, Cannonier at I want to say second round, or maybe in the third round, he was able to get to that body lock and eventually get him down in the center of the cage. But most of these guys, you back them up and they're up against the cage. They all know how to fight now up against the cage. Like, this is the only area where I felt like Leon Edwards really, really improved. That kind of gave me a little bit of issue, is because, yes, I know I knew I could take him down at will whenever I wanted, all the time. But he had worked on that aspect, knowing that if I'm up against the cage, I can use the cage to get up. And I thought that was an area that he did a really, really good job in when it came to our fights, the fights that we had. But here you saw MVP was very, very good at defending up against the cage, getting that underhook and kind of jacking his opponent up and just staying upright. So great job to them. Jared Cannonier was coming back in that end, but I thought he was just focused on trying to find a choke where he could have just kept punching, and I thought he could have eventually opened something up to get that finish. So great fight for both men. Yeah, I agree with you, Henry. MVP, man. You're an entertainer. So let's just pick fun fights and let's entertain. As far as becoming champion, I'm not saying it would never happen, but those are all wrestlers that are wrestling in the center of the cage. So I'd rather be fighting fun fights and really getting to that paper like we all want to. So, man, the sky's the limit for him as well. And Jared Cannonier is still able to do it at his age. So, my man, hats off to you. It wasn't that I was doubting you. It's just, I knew what we were up against, and that's why I chose the way I did. But Henry, Kai Asakura taking on little Timmy Elliott, All-American from the University of Central Oklahoma. And I also believe maybe a two-time champion or a national champion from Labette Community College or Labette, one of them colleges. Henry, tell me your breakdown about this, man. Or you know what? Shall I go first? I think I should go first, man. Let me go first. Yeah, I told you Tim Elliott, man, his style is extremely, extremely awkward. He's very, very dynamic. Being able to give you this shoulder, give you that shoulder, give you fakes up and down, give you this motion and that motion, go forward, do the little backward motion, hit you with the dominant cruise side by side. Man, I thought Tim Elliott did a phenomenal. There was some scary moments though, to where you really started to see the hand speed of Kai Asakura. it was just a really, really good fight. And man, you talk about placement. The UFC picked perfectly on how to kind of hit you with the little appetizer with that fight, hit you with a little bit more of the second course, hit you with the third course, and then hit you with the main course. But by the main course in this card, you might be full already. So some people might be like, "Oh, that fight was kind of boring." Well, guess what? That's because you were full. That was full. You were full. All right. You done ate first, second, third, fourth, four courses. You're full. So I think this card completely delivered. And yes, my boy Tim Elliott went out there and got it done, Henry. Huh? What you say there, Triple C?
No, for sure. No, I mean, dude, it's Kyle Asakura, bro. Like, God, Lee, man, talk about 0 and
Asakura.
2. Talk about being 0 and 2, man. It's just stylistically. I mean, the dude needs to work on his grappling. He, yeah, no, straight up, straight up.
Oh,
He needs to really spend time and focus in on there because I mean, talk about two bad matches from the beginning, Pantoja and then Tim Elliott. I mean, Elliott, as much as I wasn't going for him in this fight, I knew that, if he was to able to grab a hold of him on the grappling side like that, I didn't think he was going to submit him, but I thought he could control him, and he was able to actually get the submission. So, I mean, he's tricky, dude. Tim Elliott is tricky, man. As much as I don't like his ass, he's a tricky wrestler that brings a little bit of that funky style. That's just different. So
why?
I think there's a
Why
lot.
don't you like him,
I think there's
Henry?
a lot because he's just a little. He's just I don't know. We had a. I wanted to fight him, dude. Back when I was at 125 at the Tough House, I felt like he was being a little bitch towards me. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so you
And
guys,
I
so you
had
guys
called him
do have
out.
history. So you guys do have a little bit of history.
No, he don't want this smoke, bro. Because I called him out. He blamed an injury, blah blah blah.
Oh,
Like the dude's a legit fan. I remember he was like, I remember him even giving me props. He's like, so who doesn't beat Marias? And I do remember that. So I know there's a little bit of respect and a little bit of fear. But if that fight ever goes down, I'd love it. But anyways, let's move on to what else took place, Kush.
man. I mean, it was just such a phenomenal event. But if we go down real quick and we talk about that, the feature prelim, it's very rare to just throw a newcomer in there for the feature prelim. But this one was a little different. Bison Gore, a guy that actually trains down here at Kill Cliff, um, had his fight on the Contender Series on a Tuesday night, went out there, looked spectacular, and said, listen, he fed off of that Khamzat Chimaev energy. He was on that same type of time, that same vibration. We know what Khamzat did on Fight Island. Dana, give me 5 minutes. I can go again tonight. Hey, or if this weekend I can go. And hey, what did he do? He got on the mic. He said the same. He said the exact same thing. And guess what? Dana said, all right, you say you are who you are. All right, let's go. Gave him a fight, and not an easy fight too. Gave him a tough fight against Eric Nolan. And Eric Nolan, for a guy taking a fight on short notice, went out there and looked phenomenal because Bison Gore was in some hot water in that first round. He was. But he was able to compose himself, go out there and get the win. And of course, got up and said, I kill everybody, smash everybody, just like Khamzat. Not exactly like that, but he was on that same type of time. And I think the sky's the limit for him too. It's the guy that I've been seeing around the gym. He's been putting in work for quite some time. And man, when God decides to smile on you and give you your opportunity, you better be ready. They say luck is when preparation meets opportunity. He's prepared himself. All you fighters out there, all you young fighters out there, this man is preparing himself quietly. You haven't heard of him for a while. And when that door opened up, that opportunity, he ran right through. And now, hey, look where we at now.
No, for sure, man. And a big shout out, dude, to the fighting nerds as well, bro. They went 0
Right.
and 3 this weekend. I mean,
You mean
I
3
had
and
a chance
0.
I'm sorry, 3 and 0 this weekend. I think I went 0 and 3 this weekend, but I was talking about the
0 and
fighting nerds.
5.
They went 3 and 0. And congratulations to them. I know Pablo and Flavio, they're doing an amazing job out there in Sao Paulo. Very meticulous training. So, we'll see how the fighting nerds continues
Hey,
to strive.
honestly, Henry, if I really I don't know if my I think my media guy forgot to put up my full predictions for the whole card. But I think I was probably like 95% on this card. I think with the
That's about time. That's about time, because
thank
you're really
you.
rubbing it in, dude. This is
No, no,
really
no.
your
No,
weekend.
I'm not rubbing it in. I'm
You
just
want a
saying
cookie, dude?
I actually studied a little bit and I paid attention. There's some of those cards to where we're like, those names aren't really on there, so where we kind of get a little disinterested and we don't put as much work in. But this one I kind of studied a little bit. The Chase Hooper versus Alex the Hernandez. I said Chase Hooper, I love the improvements that he's been showing, but I think this might be a little too much of a jump for him. And Alex Hernandez went out there and put him away. Do we have a highlight on this? Can you play that highlight? Because I didn't see how he knocked him out, but I wanted to see this. Wait, and they had these fucking idiots had Alex Hernandez as the underdog. They had him as I would have bet the fucking house on this. Plus 300, plus
Yeah,
300.
Does Hernandez train with you guys, Kamar?
Yes, he comes and wrestles with us in Denver. He's really good. Are they fucking
Yeah,
who the
yeah,
fuck was the
yeah,
odds maker for this?
yeah. Chase
Boom.
Hooper.
Ooh. I would have bet the house on Alex Hernandez. I didn't realize what the odds were for this, but to put Alex Hernandez, a seasoned vet, a guy that has fought Cowboy Cerrone, that has fought the talent that he has fought, and still doing it at that level, to put him as a plus 300 versus Chase Hooper. Whoo! And listen, and that's not no knock on Chase Hooper. Like I said, Chase Hooper is doing a phenomenal job so far with improving. Because I think he was the young kid that got the developmental contract, and the UFC were trying to let him build. But to put him up against the great ape in Alex Hernandez as a plus 300, I would have put the house and my microwave on Alex Hernandez. Well, Henry, yeah, let's just say this week wasn't a great week for you with prize picks predictions, my man. But better luck next time. UFC 3. Better luck next time. All right. All right. I won't hold you to that. But Henry, before we slide, you know what we like to do here? We like to leave with our questions from a casual. Brian Battle missed weight at 170, moved up to 185 for this card, and he missed weight by 4 pounds. How can that happen? Does he need to get a better nutritionist? What advice would you have for the butcher?
Oh, okay, so he missed weight at 170 before they made him go up to 185, and then he missed weight at 185.
Correct.
Wow. You know what? That shit happens, dude. But it comes down to discipline. That's why I had to fire my nutritionist, Calvin Costello. It's you know what I'm saying? And Brian Battle's a he's a big boy, man. He's a big, like, he's I think he fought at heavyweight before, if I believe, if we're correct. He's a big dude. I think he just needs to. It comes down to discipline. Like, it just comes down for. I can see 170 why he didn't make it, but 185, that's 15 pounds. It's not even a 10 pound jump from like our typical weight classes. That's a 15-pound jump. Now that you're getting 10 plus another 5 plus 1, so 16 pounds. So he was over that. That's fucking crazy, bro. But he's gonna have to get his shit together, because the UFC will cut him, and particularly if fans don't like him. You know what I'm saying? I know he's been getting a lot of shit from the fans. I personally like his ass. I personally like the loudmouth. I like that stuff, because those guys create stories, and whether you win or you lose, like, you're able to you up the fighter that beat you, or you give the crown that praise. No, and I just know this shit from experience. You know what I'm saying? Where you pretty much create that storyline for them, but it's gonna have to come down to a lifestyle change, because the UFC sooner or later will give you that damn boot.
Yeah. The thing is, especially in a situation like Brian Battles, Brian is a guy that has lost a lot of weight, obviously because of this training, the intense training that he's put in. He was a guy that I think word was he was a heavyweight at one point. Then he got on this journey, and he got down to light heavyweight, got on the journey, got down to middleweight. And then it was like, yeah, welterweight is doable. If I stay disciplined in the way that I've been going, I can make that weight as well. And so he did welterweight for a while. And this is a guy that's extremely talented, very, very talented. Let's not take that away. I think he is a problem with the way that he fights because he's well versed in every style. I mean, he's got great submissions, really good striker, good defense. And so I think he's a guy that deserves to be in the UFC. Well, I don't want to say deserve. That's a word I don't like to use, but has earned to a right to be in the UFC. But also with being in the UFC comes being a professional. And by being a professional, if you say I can make that weight, then you have to make that weight. And unfortunately, he hasn't done that now for some time. And this happens to guys. This is not the first guy that this has happened to. Because when you're in that where you're cutting a tremendous amount of weight, and then you move up, instantly something that psychologically goes off up here that says, oh, now I got 15 pounds. I'm good. I don't have to diet like I was doing. I don't have to starve myself the way I was doing. I don't have to do all those. I can just make it easier because that's an extra 15 pounds. Wrong, very wrong. Because that's what they do. And then they get a week or 2 weeks out and they're like, yo, I'm still very heavy. Oh my God, now I have to crash diet. And things go wrong. So we've seen it with former champion Johnny Hendricks. We've seen it with my brother, the late, great Anthony Rumble Johnson. Moved up right away, missed weight when he had to fight Vitor Belfort. Like, this happened. Kelvin Gastelum, so it happens, when these guys are sucking that much weight. What's up?
I only missed weight one time in the UFC. That's it.
In the
UFC. Did you ever miss weight? Did you ever miss weight in fighting or in wrestling?
Nah, my brother.
Really, that's fucking awesome, bro. That's awesome.
It's one of we're both wrestlers, so we know it's one of those things that we really pride ourselves on because that's the first battle. We understand that that's the first battle. So if you say I'm getting down to 125 for this wrestling match for the US Open or this, you do everything in your power to make it. And I think that discipline is something that carries a lot of wrestlers over. But this sport is, it's tough and it's brutal. And I'm anxious to see what the UFC does with something like this. Do they let this man go? He's extremely talented and has earned the right to be here with the way that he's performed inside that octagon. But at the same time, this is the biggest promotion in the world. When you're here, you are at the NFL level. So when you were here, you were required to be a professional through and through. And right now, he hasn't been proven that. And so I'm anxious to see what the company does with him, Henry.
Yeah, hopefully he learns from it. I don't think it's to that point. So many people have missed weight, but it's a lifestyle change, man. Like it's not. It truly is, man. Like there's a lot of thought of just eating right, bro. I think if you just eat right and have that discipline, you'll feel better. You'll perform better, and I think that's the position where I'm at now because I've been on I've been out overseas for quite some time now. I'm just like fuck, man. You almost start to miss you feeling hungry, like that literal hunger. You know what I'm saying? Like missing, cutting that little bit of that weight, but just yet feeling good, having your body feel hard. Pause. But it happens. It happens in this game.
What would be your advice for a guy who has been in this position?
If he smokes weed, if he's a weed smoker, I would only smoke at night and then drink tea and then crash out. I would stay away from bread and sugar, man, and particularly any soft drinks that has to deal with that. When you start cutting that shit off, and then I would go on. I would start getting on maybe some cardiovascular, like going on long walks, or just these runs where you can make them periodic, like in between 3 to 4 times a week. But getting your body going because he's a big boy, man. He does cut a lot of weight. And these are things that I'm kind of giving myself this own advice. So this is a really good question that I appreciate because, you never know.
Right. Well, Henry, incredible weekend of fights. UFC 319 with our new champion, Khamzat Chimaev, over the former champion, Dricus du Plessis. But Henry, as always, my man, I'm the Nigerian Nightmare. Kamaru Usman.
Henry Cejudo, a.k.a. Triple C.
We are out.